and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, and I hope everybody had a nice, happy, and safe holiday season this year. For those who haven't seen it yet, on Christmas Eve, I posted a Christmas card I made in my community tab featuring Symmetra, Sombra, Mercy, and Diva from Overwatch in their Christmas costumes, and I thought it was a really cute little card to make. I also want to thank everyone who's watched my videos for helping my channel grow so much over the last year. It means so much to me that we were able to build this amazing community, and thank you so much again for all the love and support throughout the year. Today's video has a bit of backstory looking at events that I have seen in my everyday life while out and about. Most recently, right before Christmas holiday, I was coming home from my campus in Toronto and had just finished my final exam. While I was waiting to get to my stop on the subway, this woman and her two little girls came on board, and one of them was in a stroller, the other one was holding onto the stroller, and the little girl in the stroller was just staring into an iPad, and the mom sat down and she was glued on her phone. The other little girl was just kind of doing her own thing. But I saw the kid on the iPad and I'm like, that can't be healthy to be staring in that. I've noticed that a lot of parents are starting to become iPad parents, and an iPad parent is essentially somebody who just sticks little Sally or little Jimmy in front of an iPad or a phone to act as a babysitter all day instead of spending time with their kid or parenting their kid. And to me, that just seems really lazy to do. I knew screen addiction was a problem with some of these kids that were stuck on the iPad or the phone all day, but I was curious if there were any more side effects of this kind of parenting. So I did some Googling, and I found a very interesting study that was done that was covered by Medium.com. The Medium.com article was covering a study that had been done on iPad kids, which are the children that are just constantly on screens all day, and how those screens had an effect on their development. The article reads, JAMA Pediatrics, a peer-reviewed international medical journal study, was published on August 21st of this year, comprised of 7,097 mother-child pairs, with the key question being how screen time ranging from 1 to 4 hours beginning at age 1 affects development from the ages of 2 to 4. Various development skills such as communication, gross and fine motor, problem solving, personal and social skills were self-reported by the mothers and analyzed as the children grew. The study found that children who had more than 4 hours of screen time were almost 5 times more likely to have grown into stunted communication skills, 2 times more likely to have stunted personal and social skills, and nearly 2 times more likely to have stunted fine motor skills. I did some follow-up research, and I found a report that was published by the National Center for Biotechnology Information, which is based in Maryland in the United States. This report stated that excessive screen usage in children can also lead to problems in social emotional development, including obesity, sleep disturbances, depression, and anxiety. Seeing some of these reports really opened my eyes in just how much excessive screen time is hindering these children in such severe ways. And with all this information available, why do I still see so many parents just leaving their kid on the iPad whenever they're out in public, seemingly not monitoring what their kids are doing on there? Parents leaving their kids unsupervised when it comes to the internet or other forms of media is nothing new. How many times have we seen parents who have blindly bought their 10-year-old Grand Theft Auto without reading the rating as to why the game is meant for adults? Elsagate was a big scandal on YouTube a couple years back where some channels were using the images of popular children's characters such as Elsa from Frozen or Spider-Man and putting these characters in really adult situations, and parents who just left their children on YouTube all day didn't see how graphic this content was. I was born in 2003 and my younger sister was born in 2006, so we were members of one of the first generations to grow up with technology constantly being there around us. I remember when I was in grade 6, a lot of the teachers started going from chalkboards to smartboards, which are pretty much giant iPads at the front of the class, and they had special stylus markers, and the teacher could also show YouTube videos or movies to the class if they wanted. My parents are members of the late stage of the baby boomer generation and the early stage of Generation X, and my mom and dad put heavy emphasis on academics when it came to my sister and I. They encouraged reading, writing, history, those kinds of subjects, and when I wasn't reading history books or writing funny little stories, I was playing with my dolls. And my sister, who was more of a tomboy, she was always drawing and playing with her trucks and her stuffed animals. She only ever really played dolls with me. But my parents were very hesitant to give my sister and I a phone or any sort of device like that at a very young age because they were worried that we would become addicted to the screen like some of our classmates were. The only exception that my parents had to that rule at the time was the Nintendo DS, and they checked what games my sister and I were playing and how long we would play them for. For example, my mom would go, "Okay girls, you can play Pokemon on the DS for an hour, but then you have to bring the DS's back downstairs." And I remember as a kid when my parents fell asleep, I would sneak downstairs like a little mouse and play Pokemon for an extra hour. Even though we have all this information on the negative effects that screens have on young children's development, it makes me wonder why so many parents that I see in my personal life, like when I go to the mall to hang out with my friends or at restaurants or on the train, why so many of these parents still stick their baby in front of an iPad instead of engaging in conversation with the kid or giving them a toy to play with. That doesn't make any sense to me, why they wouldn't want to engage in speaking or interacting with their children. When you're a parent, your job is to raise a happy and healthy member of society. And by sticking your child in front of an iPad all day, it has the opposite effect. When I have children, I'm going to be very careful how much screen time they have, especially since it heavily impacts their development. I'm going to try and promote books and creativity and playing with toys over the screen, because it's just not healthy to be staring in that all day, never mind if it's a baby or an adult doing it. This is where I leave you all today. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble, and thank you again for so much support on the channel over the last year. It means a lot. If you've made it this far in the video, give yourself a cookie because you deserve it. If you enjoy this kind of content and want to see more, please subscribe to Sweet Histortea, a channel full of random facts, lots of sparkles, and tons more rambles and more to come in the future. Thank you so much again for watching, and until next time, bye-bye!
There's a part of myself I'm missing. got a lot to learn.